Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I didn't see the Laker game. I didn't watch it. I wasn't able to. You know I would have if I could have, but today was one of those days where life called upon me to spring into action for a friend, and I was happy to do that. And I was extra happy to do that because the Lakers got their butts whooped bad, and the game pretty much was over in the first quarter. So I didn't miss nothing. This was the one game that I think it was fine to miss if you do what it is that I do. Listen to other people talk about it. DTLF said he turned off the game in the first quarter. So I would have been mad at myself if I would have said no to my friends and said no to all my responsibilities on the day, just so I could be here to do all this, and then the Lakers play like that. I'm actually glad I went and handled what I had to handle. If y'all want to play like this, believe you me, I can do other things. That's the first thing I want to say. So given the fact that I didn't see the game, I did watch highlights. I studied the stats the best of my ability, so that's the only angle I have for this particular basketball game. And that doesn't really tell me a whole lot. I did watch the 7 minutes on House of Highlights to check out what it is that I saw, what was there to see. And I did lay eyes on the end of the, middle of the third quarter. I think I came in like around 3-minute mark of the third quarter. We were down by like 19. So I went on and took a shower and all that stuff, man. I got food in my system and all that. I wasn't thinking about the Lakers at that point. I just said, you know what, I'll check them out after I'm done with my shower. When I got out the shower, it was like 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. I just watched the rest of that. But as far as I could tell, there wasn't nothing to really see there. We were just out of it, and that was it. But the stats, I guess, brought about some things that I think we can discuss. I don't know how much context I have in regards to the game to really do this. The more I get accustomed to what it is that we do here, the more I realize that stat watching leaves you without a lot of what you need. A lot. And while I love to stat watch, I also want to make it very clear that I know that. So this is what I can give you. What I saw, my eyes saw in live real time, was Malik Beasley getting hot. So as far as I could tell, for the little stuff that I saw, given the circumstances and where I came in, I was actually happy with what I was seeing. I'm like, oh, okay, now we can see Malik Beasley, 6 of 12 3-pointers. That is exactly the type of Malik Beasley shooting that we need from this guy. We need somebody who just doesn't care to do anything but shoot threes, because that's exactly what we were missing all year long. So if anybody was taking more than 12 threes on this team or 12 threes on this team, it's a problem. I don't care who it is, including Bron. I don't want him doing it. He's done it many times. We don't like it. Unless he's going 8 for 12, there's no reason to do it. With his percentages being as they are historically, you just don't want him taking that many threes. And nobody else on this team was qualified to do that, to be honest with you. Nobody. There's not a single soul in this squad that we wanted shooting that much until now. So the fact that Malik Beasley, we were hunting out opportunities for him to shoot. Hunting him is trying to attack him on the defensive end to see if he can be scored on. But no, what we were trying to do was put him in a position to get as many shots as possible in garbage time so that he can find his rhythm. And I think we did a really good job of that. Now, there's one thing that I want to say about this game that the stats showed me. And then I look at what happened and I'm like, it's just Darvin, man. Devon Reed was 1 for 1, a plus 14 on the game, and only had 7 minutes. If a guy doesn't miss, and the rest of the team is minus 10 as a whole, basically everybody's minus, and then I look at him and I see plus 14, and he only played 7 minutes, and he specializes perimeter defense, and the Blazers shot 48% from behind the arc and attempted like 48 threes. And you trying to tell me you didn't play Devon Reed? And he played well in the minutes you gave him. That's what I'm talking about. Our best perimeter defenders went on the floor. Max Christie got 7 minutes. Devon Reed got 7 minutes. Those are your best perimeter defenders, Lakers. Those are your best perimeter defenders on this team right now. You could say Jared Vanderbilt as well. I don't look at him as a perimeter defender for some reason when I said that, but obviously he is a great perimeter defender. But I don't know that I'm looking to him to skate out to the 3-point line as much as I'm saying looking to that guy. I definitely need him to get out to the 3-point line and defend, and that's the point. It's like Devon's going to do it, Christie's going to do it, but we had trouble with that and we didn't play them. It's kind of what I see there. That's what the stats tell me. Anthony Davis had 20 rebounds, 19 points, 3 blocks. I listened to what was said about him. It's not my opinion. I'm just listening to what others are saying in regards to this particular game. But they said he didn't have heart tonight, man. They say he didn't play like he was strong tonight. They said he didn't play like he was really interested. And, 20 rebounds, 3 blocks, that's not what I see. 8 to 18, that's not what I see. What I saw was a guy who's actually a superstar on the defensive end. 3 blocks, 20 rebounds, he contributed quite a bit. And I think that's what I try to... This is the thing about Anthony Davis. He is a dominant two-way star. So on a night where he doesn't score very much, he could have still dominated the basketball game on the other end, which is obviously a great strength of his. So you got to look at it both ways with Anthony Davis. Just like you would look at it both ways. Well, just like you would pay attention to a defensive player not scoring the ball very much. For example, a guy like Draymond Green, whose responsibility is to not score at all, but can defend, and you're going to give him credit for being a great defensive player, even though the stats may not show you that. Obviously, other players as well, clearly. I think with Anthony Davis is one of those situations where if he decides to zero in on the defensive end, it can take away from his offensive game if he allows it to, depending on how much energy he's exerting, depending on the matchups, depending on the foul situation. So it's a lot of things to understand about Anthony Davis when you're surmising whether he played well or not. Because what I'm seeing is him not playing well on the offensive end, but I'm seeing him deliver on the defensive end just the same. And I know he's equally as great on both sides of the floor. So if you're assessing him properly and he doesn't score, do not convince yourself that he had a bad game, because he may have been a star on the other end, and that's his functionality. You see what I'm saying? So it's weird in a way. It's like for a guy like Bam Adebayo, if Bam Adebayo scores 30 points, then you're like, okay, our defensive guy gave us some scoring. We happy with that. He's been doing that this year, and he did that to start his career. But his scoring kind of comes and goes. Last finals, it wasn't. I mean, last playoffs, it wasn't like that. Et cetera, et cetera. So for me, it's like, all right, Bam is not going to be considered a two-way guy. So if he goes 3 for 12, it's not like we're going crazy, even though you would expect him not to. Anthony Davis is a guy who goes 8 for 18, and since you expect him to go for 57 points, and most people don't have a defensive mind or a defensive eye, they see him go 8 for 18. They say, oh, Anthony, you kind of, you're not really showing up. But if you look at the intangible things that a guy like, say, a Dwight Powell gets credit for, even though he ain't scoring at all, Anthony's doing all those things for your team. You know what I mean? And that's what it really comes down to. It's like, to effectively surmise a player like Anthony Davis, you got to split their production in half from the offensive end and the defensive end, essentially what I'm telling you. And if you're looking at it the right way, then you can live with the fact that he doesn't score as much on certain nights if he's doing exactly what he did tonight, which is rebound like crazy and block as many shots as necessary. So that's why I think it's hard to move on from Anthony Davis, because you understand that he dominates both sides of the floor, and that's so very rare. When you think about great players, it's not easy to find a great two-way star, especially in this era where people don't really play defense like that. I think like Giannis, Joel, Kawhi. Those are the names that just pop into my head right away. Jrue Holiday. Those are the guys that come to mind right away. Matisse Thybulle tonight. Matisse Thybulle shooting 4 threes. Are you kidding me? 4 threes for Matisse? How the hell you let Matisse Thybulle hit 4 threes? That boy ain't supposed to be able to score at all. Didn't I tell y'all that? If y'all been following me enough, you know I told y'all that Matisse Thybulle can shoot a little better than people think he can, and you could put him in rotations that the Philadelphia 76ers refused to. I told y'all that. I was like, look, they're not using him properly. They're playing him as if he's completely deficient scoring the ball, and that's just not the case at all. It's just Doc Rivers. It's Doc, man. It's Doc doing Doc stuff. What they needed to do was let him be a superstar on the defensive end and then work his offense around and not pay it much attention as he continues to get it going. And as he continues to get it going, he's going to improve on his offense, and his defense is going to be stellar at all times. So if you look at him as a defensive superstar and play him for that, you're going to be happy with his offense if he gives you anything. But if you're not playing him correctly, or you're expecting him to be able to do things that he shouldn't be able to do, and he doesn't on the one night that you call his number, then you miss out on a night like this. You know how many nights like this Philly missed out on not playing Matisse Thybulle? Many. So I just wanted to put that out there. That man had 4 threes tonight. A guy that they say can't shoot. He would be on my team. I'd already had him here. So let y'all know that. So anyway, this is one of those situations where I look at him, Nasir Little, another guy I tell you guys I like a lot on that team. He hit 3 threes. Trenton Watford hit 2 threes. Dame Lillard hit like 8 or 9, I don't know how many Dame had, man. A lot, a whole lot. He ended up with 40 plus points tonight. He killed us as usual. I think Anthony Simons probably had a couple of them as well. So it was just a really good night for their team in regards to that. Somebody else who really did well, man. Shaedon Sharpe, I think, had 3 threes. Yeah, I know that's one of my favorite rookies. So it's like I told y'all, Portland ain't nothing to play with. I told y'all in the pregame video, even though I only had 10 minutes to talk, if y'all don't play the perimeter, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. Because they have reinforcements now that can shoot the ball. A guy like, and I said this, Cam Reddish and Shaedon Sharpe, in my humble opinion, coupled with Nasir Little, all 3 of those forwards, hell, throw another one in there. Jeremy Grant. All 4 of those forwards make it absolutely hard to strategize against the Portland Trailblazers. There's going to be teams that are going to run into the Blazers in the playoffs, and they're going to understand that they probably have more wings than you. They have more wings than you. And that's what really comes down to with the Portland Trailblazers because of the trades they just made. A couple was already there. You look up and you realize Dame got more help than he even needs to do something. And so I told y'all, I'm not picking the Blazers to win the championship, but they're my dark horse team to do something very, very special in the Western Conference because they really do have the bodies this year. For the very first time since Dame's career, they got the bodies. They really have them. And all of these players can ascend because they're wildly talented and wildly underdeveloped just the same. Shaedon Sharpe and Cam Reddish, I believe their talent level can get them up to 30 points. If you give them enough shots, they both can score 30 in the same game. And you're never going to see that because Dame's going to take 40 shots. And they got a bunch of other people to feed too, including Anthony Simons, who's going to take 40 shots. So it's like if they ever find a continuity offense that allows for all of those guys to have balance, it's a wrap. If Shaedon Sharpe reaches his highest peak before Dame retires, he's probably going to win the championship. That's how real that is to me. I look at Shaedon Sharpe's game, both sides of the floor. I look at Reddish's game, both sides of the floor. All they need is somebody to believe in them and not overreact to their mistakes and just let them play. And eventually you're going to see them turn into exactly what they are because some players are just born to play basketball. And both of those guys were born to play basketball. So Portland is doing great. The more their season is progressing, the more I appreciate all that they've done since the summertime. When they did all of the things that they did, resetting their situation, re-signing all of their guys. And you couple that with the trades that they've made in this particular situation. I like Josh Hart a lot. They upgraded and got somebody taller just like we did in regards to our guard situation. And I just like it. I like everything Portland has going on. I think Anthony Simons is one hell of a second star to have down there. I think when it's all said and done and he retires, I would not be surprised if him and Dame Lillard are not too far apart in cachet. I would not be surprised. I think Dame is well established, obviously many years more on his career. But the way I'm seeing Simons starting to come along and some of the things that he's really, really great at, if Dame ever leaves this place, I would not be surprised if he turns into something like really special. All-star a couple of times over. Like, I really believe Anthony Simons could be that kind of guy. And Jeremy Grant, of course, Jeremy Grant is just a Swiss Army knife. The Lakers have obviously wanted him the whole time. And he's a guy that kills us every time we see him. Now, I didn't even pay attention to his stats, so far be it for me to speak on how he played tonight. But I'm pretty sure if he was down there, he was very disruptive. I don't have to even ask. He was disruptive because that's what he does. And so, I don't think that you can really judge our team tonight because the continuity hasn't been there. Obviously, there's new guys here. This is just their second game. It's on the road against Portland, a healthy, well-oiled Portland machine with Dame at his highest peak, playing the best ball of his life. It's just impossible, man. When you got a team that's on their home floor and they're doing all of the things that they comfortably do against you, and you don't shoot very well yourself, and you don't defend the perimeter very well yourself while they're going off for record numbers shooting the ball. You got defensive players on their team that don't even score shooting the ball and hit them 4 and 5 threes. You're not going to get far. You're not going to get far. When they whole team shoots hot, you just got to tip your hat and let them have it, man. Honestly. Truth be told, I don't even know if LeBron James could have stopped any of that from happening, man. Like, if he would have played tonight, I think he probably still had the same result to a degree. He might have had a little more, would have had more points, but probably still would have lost because that's how well they were shooting. That's how well they were shooting. You can shoot 48% and you attempt 48 threes. Clearly, you should be shooting that much. Probably should have shot more, honestly. So Portland just wiped the floor with my Lakers. A Laker team that did not have its game plan in place because they don't know who each other are. A team that didn't have its LeBron James piece, obviously. A team that didn't have really a whole lot to really hang his hat on since it's been making these trades and guys that just come in. We've still got Bamba out. I think Bamba being out also hurt a little bit. We didn't have that length and size to kind of assist with AD in certain things. I like D'Angelo's game. He's continued to play well. If anything, I saw in the highlights, he did some things that I was appreciative of. Being very careful, making himself available, hitting shots, mid-range shots, rebounds, stuff like that. Just making himself available. I want him to take on a bigger role. I'm silent because I'm trying to think about Dennis Schroeder. I looked at his stats tonight and I realized he didn't have the greatest game. I'm pretty sure if I would have laid eyes on that game, I would have much more to say about it because it looked like it was that kind of game for him. But unfortunately, I didn't see it, so he gets spared. But the production is not to be... it ain't nothing good there. I'm just going to be honest. The stats tell me that he had a bad night and got a lot of minutes to do it. And that's a Darvin thing, man. That's a Darvin thing. You look at the 30 minutes and you look at the production and you just understand Darvin didn't pull him out soon enough. That's all it was. Darvin's usually good about that, though. I thought he's done a good job of that particular thing. Pretty well, actually. He usually gets it right, getting guys out of the game and making sure that guys aren't staying out there too cold. I think he did so with Malik Beasley in the last game, but I didn't have a problem with that. I want Malik to shoot like he shot. I want him to get his rhythm in this uniform. I don't give a damn how many shots he takes from behind the arc because I notice his functionality. You see what I'm saying? We talk about three-point discipline. Not when a guy's supposed to be shooting. Not when a guy is here in the league at a professional level as a sniper. Nah, let him shoot. let him shoot. Let him run off screens. Let him shoot. I don't want him even in the paint. I want him shooting threes. So I thought the Lakers really let Malik Beasley just let himself shoot some shots tonight, and I liked it. I like it. I don't want him shooting 12 shots every night, but while we're trying to work him into this equation, it's the only thing we need him to do. Because even if we run him off of run-specific plays for him, at the end of the day, we just want his gun sharp. That's it. We just want his gun smoking, and that's all it is to it. So that's the guy I was really pleased with in the highlights that I saw. I just want him to be as aggressive as he needs to be so he can get his confidence all the way up for the Lakers. Because if he's a 20-point scorer, 30-point scorer, we out of here. We out of here. When I say we out of here, we out of here. And so that's what I think, man. Malik Beasley could be a very important piece. I'm not frustrated with LeBron James. I want Bron doing exactly what he's doing. Healing that foot, man. Healing the foot, bro. We're 38. We can't play around. I was climbing stairs today, lifting boxes with my friends, and I'm in some pretty solid shape right now. But even I was fatigued, and I was looking at them. They were dying. Like, it was a lot of stairs, that kind of thing. And I just think, like, Bron is our age. You know what I mean? He's up there with us, and he's doing all this in the NBA. And so even though he's been taking care of his body, he's obviously a God-gifted, blessed athlete beyond our understanding. But at the end of the day, 38 years is 38 years. No matter what body you're living in on this earth, 38 years, you get tired, man. And so I just feel like for him, it takes a little longer to heal now. For all of us at this age. Ankle injury used to take 2 days, 3 days to heal. Now it's going to take about 7, 8 days to heal. And that's just what it is. So with his foot being as bad as it's been all for the last couple months and him just playing on it all bad like that, I want him to sit through the All-Star break. Personally. Because I think at the end of the day, even though we don't want to load manage anymore because we can't afford to lose games, I think we have a better chance if he's healthy for the stretch run than trying to have him push it when he's not healthy. It's a good chance he doesn't make it through the season if we do that. So we're gonna lose these games anyway. Might as well give ourselves the best possible chance to make the playoffs, and that's him 100% for the final stretches of all the games we're playing. So if that whatever path is going to get us to him being healthy throughout the season, that's the path the Lakers, I believe, should try to explore and be on. That's me. That's without me taking into account all of the mathematics, all of everybody's records, everything. I don't know. For all I know, it's very important he don't miss any games. But what I'm telling you is, if we want to give ourselves the best shot, having him play on a hobbled foot doesn't give us that. It doesn't give us that. So that's what it is, man. And I feel the same way about AD. That bone spur, I ain't never going to be right until he gets that thing probably fixed, or however that works. If he has to go under the knife, I would rather him not. I'm sure he would rather not. But something like that, a bone spur that's always going to be poking in your foot as you run, no matter what. Yeah, no, that ain't nothing to live with. That's nothing to live with. You want to try to get that fixed. So that's something the Lakers are going to have to be real about, bro. Sis, we're going to have to be real about that. If Anthony Davis does, in fact, need some type of cut, some type of surgery on his foot, he's going to miss some of next season. He's either going to, if he don't get it done now, if he does it in the off season, he's definitely missing time. And so these are the type of things that, like, even though nobody's talking about, I'm going to talk about it because I see it coming. It's like 1 + 1 = 2 every time. The man's dealing with an injury that he needs surgery on, and damn it, the surgery needs to be happening at some point, and that means he's going to be away. So that's just what it is. Ain't nobody going to tell you that. The Lakers will probably try to avoid him having surgery altogether. I'm pretty sure he would love to not have that. Hopefully, I'm knock on wood, it's not even necessary. But my understanding is that's a freaking bone stir in the middle of his foot. If my understanding of his injury is correct, that's just a loose bone sitting in his foot waiting to cut him every time he runs. So it's like, yo, if that's what it is, he's going to have to make a business decision that ain't going to, that's going to allow him, that's going to force him to miss time. And when that happens, the Lakers are just going to have to absorb the missed time. Whether it be the end of this season or beginning of the next season, if he's going to get that taken care of and it does do what it does, it's just something that we should probably be thinking about. So I threw that in the video. That's why I did that. What else I want to say here, man? Rui Hachimura, it's hard to tell in the highlights, but he did get the ball stolen on a dribble situation. So it was relevant to say his handle ain't up to par. We've said that for like 3 games in a row now. He just don't have an NBA handle. He got NBA jump shot. He got NBA rebounding skills. He got NBA most of the stuff. But when he dribbles, I'm nervous. It's almost like Rick Fox back in the day. I'm nervous. Because, Rick Fox, he got around. He was able to move around, you know what I mean? It ain't like he traveled all the time or nothing, but he just didn't have no handles. You would never see him crossing nobody up or doing ins and out and weaves and all that. Nah. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. And he just made it work. So that's kind of how I look at Rui Hachimura. They're going to have to work on his handle. I don't think it's ever going to get to a place where, it's like American. Because he wasn't raised in America. So he has a different, he was raised around different types of game. And so for him to adjust into that and tap into that at the NBA level, I don't know that it's in him like that. But I do know if he doesn't improve his handle from here, it's going to be hard for him to reach his highest peak. It's going to be very hard for him to reach his highest peak. His handle must improve. So that's something we're going to say there. And, yeah, man, Vando, his plus-minus was bad. I don't know why that would be. It's one of those situations where you're like, my voice changed when I talk about that. Like, why was Vanderbilt's plus-minus bad? There's nothing that I could ever know without actually seeing the game, so I don't even know how to comment on that. I don't know. All I can say is Vandalorian is one of my favorite players in the whole league, and I'm happy he's here, period. That's all there is to that. Yeah, man, I'm a happy Laker fan. Even though we didn't win, I'm happy because I didn't watch it. Truthfully, I'm happy I was spending time with people I cared about instead of sitting there watching my team blow themselves out. Portland gets all the credit, of course, for shooting the ball as well as they did. I don't know what else. Defense, I don't know. What am I supposed to tell you? I don't know. But, given the fact they won the game, apparently they did very well. They were up by 27 at one point in this game, so clearly they was doing things right. This is a situation where if the Lakers really want to just take anything at all from this particular basketball game, it's just an understanding that your perimeter defense must improve if you want to win something. Teams can shoot like this in the playoffs. What you can't do is let them hit as many as they did. They can't hit as many as they did. I saw far too many situations where we were trailing behind the perimeter on a night where everybody was hitting. You see what I'm saying? It's like, look, Darvin, if the team that we're going against is having a Golden State night, then you have to have your best perimeter defenders on the floor, period. It can't be about, well, we just want to leave Malik out there. We're going to leave Rui out there. No, because they're going to find themselves trailing behind the shooters. They too late to the perimeter. Either it's our coverage, because I know somebody complained about our coverage, and mind you, this is not my expertise, so I don't even talk about this kind of stuff. This is where I need to grow. But we're talking about, like, drop coverage was something that was mentioned yesterday in regards to the Lakers in the previous game, and they was able to get away with it and win But the person who was commenting said, look, if the Lakers continue to drop coverage like this, they're going to get shot like this. They're going to get shot down the way that they got shot tonight. And that stood out in my mind because that person was right. Because the Lakers turned around and gave up as many 3-point shots as we did tonight. And so that's what I saw there. It was drop coverage, guys trailing behind the 3-point line, not being in position to have the priority be guarding that perimeter. And if a team is shooting almost 50% from behind the arc, then that's all you really need to be guarding. Give them the layup, guard the damn three. So I just felt like Darvin Ham, that's one of the things was like, that's a rookie coach making a rookie mistake that otherwise you probably win this game or at least have a closer game because a real coach is going to adjust out of that. He going to look at Dennis Schroeder's production 15 minutes in. He going to be like, nah, this ain't a night for Dennis. We're going to make sure we have Devon Reed out there. We're going to have Max Christie out there. We're going to have Troy Brown out there. We're going to have all of our perimeter defenders out there. And if they're able to hit threes over them dudes, we're cool. Austin Reeves, fresh from injury, he's trying to chase down 3-point shooters. In situations where you got a double Dame, so that means you got to hurry up and get to the 3-point line? No. That's a bad situation for a guy fresh off injury. This is what I'm talking about. It's awareness, coaching awareness. When you got a player fresh off injury, hamstring injury, and he already has foot speed issues, guarding guys that are really fast and really quick, are you putting him on really quick and really fast people? See what I'm saying? It's the stuff. Like, that's the coaching staff. That's on them. These are the things that they can help us out with so that we don't find ourselves in situations where we're down by 27. And you really need to win basketball games. This is just what it comes down to. You cannot have a rookie coach in a situation like this when every game is important. LeBron James missing games, and he out here doing stuff that you ain't going to see him do next year. Stuff that he just ain't going to do next year. And it's like, it, because he's a rook. So for me, it's just like, man, this is just the Lakers. I like the fact that we have Darvin Ham for the future. But for right now, it's damn near impossible to win a championship with a rookie coach. It's damn near impossible. And that's what really it comes down to, man. You're asking a rookie coach with a bunch of players that don't know how to close, with the exception of D'Lo, of course, because we got him now. He knows what he's doing. But a bunch of dudes that didn't know how to close, you got a coach down there who also didn't know how to keep the games from being close. So that was what the Lakers' record really was made of. More or less, it was that, however you slice it, came to that. And so for me, as I look at the highlights of this game, look at the stats of this game, there's DNA of that. Like, oh, damn, this was a Darvin game, huh? Yeah, Darvin played Dennis too long, didn't play the perimeter defensive players right. It was just a lot of that, man. It was a lot of that. So, yeah, did Portland shoot us out of the game? Even if we would have played a perfect game, we probably still would have lost by 1 or something like that. That's how well they were playing. But all in all, it's like, for me, I just look at the stats and I say there were things that the coach could have did just looking at that paper that could have helped us. Just looking at the stat sheet. Some things is like, all right, Dennis, this ain't your night, bro. Let's sit you down. You're going to get some rest. It's how it has to be. Guys going 1 for this, 1 for that. How you go sit down? And so that's where I'm at with it, man. That's where I'm at with it. The highlights didn't tell me as much as I need to know, other than that Dame is still that dude. And, that's it. He don't need a whole lot, and he has a whole lot. So if he happens to do something special this year, you heard it here. You heard it here. Because I'm telling you, he don't need a lot. And when you're accustomed to not having a lot, and you get a lot, oh, you're dangerous. You're dangerous as hell. And that's exactly what's happened there with Portland. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I said that I thought they were a contender before they beat us like this. And now that they shot like they did tonight, obviously you need to be considering them a contender. Obviously. And so, like I said, they got the bodies. They got the bodies to throw at some of these teams with a lot of wings. They have them. In fact, some of those teams are going to have as many wings as Portland. I think Portland probably got more wings than most of these teams. So it's like, all right. There's no shame in losing to the Portland Trail Blazers this year, especially after they made those trades. It's not. It's going to be a lot of teams get blown out by Portland, in my opinion, if they keep this continuity together with this team. And that's what I really feel. I really feel that, man. Dame playing this well, Anthony this well, Grant this well, and then you got a bunch of bench players that could really go. Really go? That's scary. That's scary, man. So that's my thought. That is the gist of what I have to say, man. It's just a lot of credit to the Portland Trail Blazers for shooting the ball as well as they did. I thought the Lakers won a lot of things that they needed to win. They won the rebounding total by like 12 or something like that. They destroyed them on the boards. I think we had more points in the paint, like not double their points in the paint, but we really, really put a lot of points on them in the paint. And of course, they were shooting theirs from behind the perimeter, so that made sense. I don't remember what our turnover situation was. I don't remember even glancing at that, unfortunately. I should have, obviously. But the one thing that I do remember as well is Portland only missed one free throw. So if Portland's shooting 92% from the free throw line, at 48% from the 3-point line, and they've attempted 48 threes or whatever it was, then you just lost because they didn't miss. And you lost because you didn't defend well enough to force them to miss. I thought I mentioned Austin Reeves. I thought he was chasing down perimeter shots. He was chasing them. He was doing a good job of his effort. It just wasn't fast enough to get there. Wasn't long enough to do nothing to the shot. So it's just little things, you want to focus on the offensive end, because we do have a lot of players to work into the equation, and offensive continuity is kind of one of those things that you just got to let guys get their stuff going. But if you don't guard, you won't win. If you don't get yourself out there and guard the damn perimeter, you're going to lose. Doesn't matter how well people are shooting or none of that. It really don't. Unless you outshot them, you're done. And we wouldn't have been able to outshoot them, not the way we were shooting. We just didn't attempt enough to even put ourselves in a position to compete with them in that way. And given the fact that we got D'Lo and all these shooters, the Beasley, I just feel like we need to look at ourselves and say, we didn't attempt enough 3-point shots tonight. You know what I mean? And that's okay, because that's a good trait, that you realize you're not a good shooting team and that you want to discipline yourself away from 3-point shooting. But if you get the personnel on your team that dictates that you need to shoot more because now it's a strength of theirs, then you got to adjust to that and don't see the fruit in shooting less threes, because it's not something that's actually plays into your favor anymore. We don't have Russell Westbrook on the team no more, so trying to look for 60 and 70 points in the paint, that probably ain't going to happen. You need to let the players on the team who you've acquired do the things that they are great at. So that's why I like to see Malik Beasley attempt 12 shots tonight, because he's not somebody we want doing anything other than shooting those threes. So let him have them. And when Russell was on the team, we want him to do the things that he did. You know what I mean? So it's like that's going to bring a different element to your team. And so you just got to learn to live without what it is that Russell provided, and learn to appreciate the stuff that the new guys do, and then let that determine how you view yourself and your game plan. So that's what I want to say, man. Let's adjust our game plan. 3-point discipline is something to have, but it's not something that works in our favor on a night like tonight. You need to let it fly. Matisse Thybulle hit 4 threes. Trendon Watford hit 2 threes. That's 6 threes from guys that probably ain't even supposed to be shooting like that, on top of everybody else who's hitting like crazy. So for me, it's like, when you try to just go for the 2-point game, you go and get in the paint all this, man, I would have D'Lo and Beasley just shooting all night. Like, it would be that, and then a healthy dose of Anthony Davis. And then Lonnie Walker. I don't know how Lonnie did tonight, but it's kind of tough, because you definitely know he could give you some scoring on a night when you need scoring. It's kind of tough, because it's like, I know he's not as good a defender as some of these other guys, and he probably ain't as good a shooter as Beasley. But he's a really, really good finisher in the paint, really, really good slasher. And he's going to make sure you have a lot of quality possessions on the offensive end that do not need to be thrown away by a team who's sub 500 like us. Now, we kept him here because we had the intentions of keeping him and re-signing him. But if we're not going to find ways of getting the most out of him, then we're probably going to lose him anyway. So I don't know how, I didn't lay eyes on this game. I'm just saying something that would have been in my mind regardless of how the game went or any game we played. This is not specific to this game. We must find ways of utilizing all these small shooting guards that we got on this team. And it's like 6 of them, 7 of them. But we have to use them all, because they all do something that we need this team to help us with. They all do something different in some cases too. And they all can be interchangeable in other positions as well. So that's going to be the trick for Darvin. It ain't no more small ball guard situations, but you definitely have a shooting guard log jam with some really talented guys. So who do you choose? Who is your guard? And that's it's going to be a tough night when you call on the wrong guy and the other 5 sit. So that's what I'm saying. A Dennis Schroeder 30-minute night, don't ever let that happen again when he scores this little. I know what he's playing for, but there are other guys who playing for that too. So we got to be confident. We got to be considerate of all, not just a few. So that's where we're at, man. That is where we're at. We got blown out. I was blessed enough to miss most of it. And I still found a way to talk 35 minutes about this team because that's how serious I am about the Lakers. But all in all, man, it was a great night for me. I'm sorry you guys didn't enjoy the game. Hopefully, if you were a Blazer fan, you did. But that doesn't move us very much. We're Laker fans over here. So that's what it is, man. Who am I giving the game ball to? I want to give the game ball to Matisse Thybulle for hitting 4 threes because I know he's not supposed to do that. But obviously, the game ball belongs to Dame Lillard. Obviously, it goes for 40-something. It's like, all right, man. You got it, bro. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. I'm not thrilled about the game, but I had a great night. So, but it is what it is. I ain't tripping. Lakers lost. Glad I didn't see it. It is what it is. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.